Boston Red Sox have been incredibly busy over the last couple of days. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. I apologize for the delay on this video talking about the Red Sox moves. I wasn't here, and I really hate the quality of our away game videos. I'm trying to work on making those better, but while I was away, the Red Sox got a whole lot of reinforcements. They got reinforcements from outside the organization. They got reinforcements from inside the organization, and we're going to talk about all of those in today's video because today we're going over all the latest Red Sox roster moves, what they mean for 2024, and obviously their impact on this team. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the signing that the Red Sox did over the last couple of days. On Friday, it was rumored that the Red Sox had signed Rich Hill to a minor league contract, which obviously means he's going to start in the minors and make his way to the majors at some point. Now, this deal wasn't really confirmed until last night when the Boston Red Sox themselves announced that they had signed Rich Hill to a minor league contract and that he was going to be joining the Worcester Red Sox on Tuesday. Now, my assumption is that he's not going to be on a minor league deal for very long. My guess is that he's probably going to have one or two starts at the minor league level, just sort of get himself into a game experience. My goal yesterday was to actually talk to Rich Hill himself, but obviously since he's joined the team Tuesday, and that's going to be an away game, I'm not going to have the chance to talk to him and figure out what the real plan is, but that is the assumption here, and I think this signing was really polarizing. There were a lot of people who really liked this deal. There were a lot of people who didn't like this deal at all. For me, I'm somewhere in the middle, and the reason I'm somewhere in the middle is because I do think this is a smart move. The Red Sox pitching staff, outside of really Brian Bayo, who has been absolutely fantastic since coming back from the paternity list, has been the worst pitching staff in Major League Baseball since the All-Star break. Any reinforcements in my mind are going to help bring that number closer towards league average, even if it is Rich Hill. Now, obviously, he didn't have exactly a fantastic season last year at the big league level. In fact, between Pittsburgh and San Diego, he had a 5.41 ERA with a bit lower 4.87 FIP, a 1.524 whip, and an 81 ERA plus, about 19% below league average production. But he's also not crazy far removed from some pretty solid seasons at the big league level. There's 2022, which is now 2 years away, where Rich Hill was with the Boston Red Sox, and he was about a league average pitcher. It was a 4.27 ERA with a 3.92 FIP and a 1.303 whip for a 98 ERA plus, just 2% below league average production, right around that league average mark. And he's also only 3 years removed from a 2021 season where he had a 3.86 ERA, a 4.34 FIP, and a 1.210 whip, good for a 1.05 ERA plus, a bit better than league average production. Now, in my opinion, I think we might get the best of Rich Hill, and I'm not going to jinx it and say that we are definitely going to get the best of Rich Hill because he's obviously getting older. He's obviously pretty far removed from seasons like this, but at the same time, too, you're also getting a fully rested Rich Hill. This isn't Rich Hill who had pitched 100-plus innings for another team who got traded over here. This is Rich Hill who hasn't thrown a single inning this entire season. I don't hate this idea at all. I actually like the fact that the Red Sox went out there and they said, yeah, we could use any reinforcement basically imaginable to get him to this big league club. What I'm really interested in is what they're going to do with his role on the big league club. Is it going to be a straight starter? Are they going to move Cooper Criswell back into the bullpen and have him sort of come out in a longer term bullpen role there? Are they going to have him and Rich Hill sort of flip-flop and put him in hybrid roles? Or is Rich Hill going to be a long relief left-handed pitcher? Which position are they going to put him in? Overall, again, you look at this deal and I don't hate it one bit, mostly because I think the Red Sox could use any help they could possibly get, and it really can't get much worse, right? There are people out there saying that Rich Hill's going to make this team even worse. I don't think that's possible in terms of the pitching, like we saw not last night, which was actually one of their better pitching performances since the All-Star break, but the night before they scored 12 runs. They also give up 10 runs, right? Luis Garcia just looks terrible right now, so to get anyone in here that's going to help supplement this pitching staff, in my opinion, is always a positive. So I am excited about Rich Hill. I'm not exactly like, oh my God, this is going to be the savior of the Boston Red Sox or anything, but I do think at the bare minimum, he's going to raise the floor a bit of who this Red Sox team could be. And if that's what's going to get them to the next level, I'll take that every day of the week. So that's the first news topic we got to talk about. But it wasn't just a signing that happened over the last couple of days. The Red Sox got some reinforcements from within as well. However, before we get into that, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it's the best way you can let me know you're enjoying the content we are putting out. Thank you all very much for taking a second and doing so. Let's get into the rest of this video. The first reinforcement to come back to the Boston Red Sox was one Tristan Casas, who finally made his way back from an injury. It feels real good to have Tristan Casas back on this team, let me tell you. And he came back in only a way Tristan Casas would come back. His exact quote was, last night in his last rehab assignment in Worcester, after my first at-bat, something just popped into my head and told me I was ready to go. So thank you to whatever divine intervention decided that Tristan Casas was ready to come back. Whatever baseball god is looking over the Boston Red Sox, thank you very much, because Tristan really totally changes the outlook of this lineup. And it's not just what he's doing statistically, although he does look pretty solid since coming back from the IL. It is only 2 games, but he does have 3 hits. He scored a run in both games that he's been in. He's been an immediate factor in Red Sox winning baseball games, but even outside of just statistics, having Tristan Casas in this lineup totally changes the way pitchers approach it, because now it makes it really difficult to pitch around anybody in the heart of this order. Who are you going to pitch around to get to in big situations? Is it going to be Tristan Casas? Is it going to be Rafael Devers, who is having the best season of his career? Is it going to be Masataka Yoshida, who has been absolutely on fire lately? Or is it going to be Tyler ONeal, who has been on a heater for a little bit now, and we will get to in a second? It makes this lineup much deeper. It allows other players on this lineup to get better pitches to hit because they're not getting pitched around. Tristan Casas really impacts this team on multiple levels offensively. Defensively, he's already looking really solid. He's made a couple of really big plays that have helped this team get 2 wins over the last couple of days that I don't know were made without him. So I'm absolutely ecstatic that Tristan Casas is back. I think having his presence in this lineup, on this field, and in this clubhouse is going to be a big reason and factor as to what the Red Sox end up doing over the next month or so of the season, or whatever's left of this year. Absolutely pumped he's back. Now, to get him onto the roster, unfortunately, the Red Sox did have to let go of their best reliever, Dom Smith, who was DFA'd in order to make room for him. And I gotta tell you, I'm going to miss Dom Smith a little bit. He wasn't exactly the most electric player on the diamond, but he had some really great moments that made him really easy to root for. I mentioned the 0 ERA from the bullpen. He was really the Red Sox best statistical reliever in the second half, but outside of that, he also really did a solid job of minimizing the hole that Tristan Casas left both on the field and off the field. On the field, statistically, he was a bit below league average defensively. Offensively, he was a bit below league average with a 237 average, a 317 on base percentage, and a 390 slug, good for a 94 OPS plus, but that really did help this team out a lot. It gave them some production from a spot that they were really getting absolutely nothing from. He came up in some big moments for this Red Sox team, and I really hope he catches on somewhere else because he absolutely deserves to be at the major league level. I'm going to miss Dom Smith a little bit. I didn't think I was going to say that at any point when he got to this Red Sox team, especially after the first couple of weeks that he was over there at first base, but he really developed into a kind of key person on this team. Maybe not the most important person on this team, maybe not the top 5 most important person on this team, but he helped this team win baseball games, and at the end of the day, all I could say is thank you for that, Dom. The other big reinforcement the Red Sox got was actually yesterday when they reinstated Tyler ONeal from the 10-day IL. And for those of you who don't know, Tyler ONeal went through it on the IL before coming back to the Red Sox. He initially went on there because of a sickness that kept him out for a couple of days, which also developed a leg infection that caused Tyler ONeal to actually end up in the hospital for 4 days before he rejoined this Red Sox team without a rehab assignment. Tyler ONeal, for what it's worth, is one tough dude. And again, like Tristan Casas, what you're talking about here is an impact on the lineup as a whole. We talked about how all of a sudden it becomes a lot harder to get through the middle of this order with Casas back in it. It gets even harder with Tyler ONeal back in it because this dude has been on an absolute heater in the second half of the season. Take a look at what he was doing in June and July. It is otherworldly statistics. It's above a 150 OPS plus in both months, and he isn't really slowing down in August either. In his first game back, again, no rehab assignment, just sort of getting back in there on doing the absolute bare minimum to get back onto this team. He already had 2 hits and an RBI in his first game back. This is a dude who can absolutely make a huge difference in this Red Sox lineup. He can make a big difference on the field. This is a guy who can impact the game basically every single which way, and it was a big loss for the Red Sox to not have him over the last couple of weeks. So to get him back in this lineup with Tristan Casas, all of a sudden your 1 through 5 is Jarren Duran, Tyler ONeal, Rafael Devers, Tristan Casas, Masataka Yoshida, and then you add in guys like Wilyer Abreu, you add in guys like, say, Don Rafaela, David Hamilton, who's been hitting the ball really well, and this is one of the deepest lineups in Major League Baseball over the course of just a couple of different days. Simply getting these guys back makes this team so much more formidable offensively. It's making them more formidable, which is wild to say because they've been one of the better offenses in baseball over the course of the second half of this season. You're talking about a really deep lineup that got even deeper, which is absolutely fantastic. So I am pumped to see Tyler ONeal back in this lineup almost as much as I am to see Tristan Casas. Now, to get Tyler ONeal onto the Red Sox 26-man roster, they did have to option Nick Sogard, which I'm not totally in love with. I absolutely loved what Nick Sogard was doing at the plate on the field for the Boston Red Sox. He was sort of struggling a little bit towards the end of his stint at the major league level at the plate, but overall, he was a fantastic at-bat for this team. He was a guy who was giving them solid defense, so I don't love the idea of sending him back down. The reasoning Alex Cora gave was because allowing Mickey Gasper to stay with this team allows the Red Sox to put both Jansen and Wong into a lineup without really having to worry about needing a backup catcher, which makes some sense, right? The Red Sox have struggled against lefties this entire season. They need to find a way to combat that, and if getting Wong and Jansen into this lineup is a way to help get some more production against left-handed pitching going forward, I'm all for it. I'm just saying I really love Sogard at the major league level, and I hope we see him really soon. But those are the moves the Red Sox made. Those are the reinforcements the Red Sox got, and they're not small names by any means. The Red Sox are starting to put it together health-wise in a really critical part of this season. You're getting Rich Hill in the next couple of weeks who should help somehow reinforce this team, because even if you get a league average pitcher out of Rich Hill, league average is still 15 spots better than what you're getting out of anything in this current pitching staff. Tristan Casas, one of the biggest names on the Boston Red Sox back. Tyler ONeal, one of the best hitters on the Red Sox back, and that's not even the end of it. Over the next couple of weeks, over the next week or so, really, you're going to be getting Liam Hendricks back, and Justin Slayton's not too far behind him as well. So you are getting reinforcements in every single portion of this team over the next couple of weeks if they haven't already been made. That is absolutely massive. And I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to say anything, but them coming together at this point in the season could really spell the difference between a postseason and going home early in September. Again, I'm not going to jinx anything, but boy, does it feel good to have this Red Sox team back, basically almost on full cylinders. It gives you some hope. It gives you a little bit of hope here as to who the Red Sox could be for the final stretch of the season. It gives you even more hope that the Red Sox, at the bare minimum, just split a series with the Baltimore Orioles. That is a really, really big thing to happen for the Boston Red Sox. They have been really bad against the Orioles this season, so I think it just goes to show you that this team will not stop fighting, and with reinforcements, that fight gets even better, but that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about all this? What do you think about the signing? What do you think about the reinforcements? What do you think about what this means for the team in general? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton. Best way to let me know you're enjoying the content we are putting out. Don't forget, you can always get these episodes in podcast form if you want to listen instead of watch. All you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Sea Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this video, and I will see you all back home and in the red seats.